Hello, well, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Whatever place it is that you're tuned on to the Live Signatures Radio, we are in the middle, smack in the middle of a series. What am I talking about? We are in the middle of a series where we're talking about detachment. It's 4 episodes in, and we're going strong. We've already given us a definition of detachment and how important it is in our lives. Actually, the title of the whole thing is Why Detachment is a Powerful Psychological Tool for Productivity. Why detachment is a powerful psychological tool for productivity. If you're a manager, if you're a boss, you are an individual who is interested in your own productivity. You want to see things go well. And there are things that you are in control of. There are things that you're not in control of. But you wanted productivity to continue even as you are anticipating other things that are not necessarily in your control. Detachment is the key. So we are learning 1 or 2 things about detachment even as we're going on. Let us learn one more in this episode today. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, even as we are recording this, there's a background noise of someone trying to pray through a speaker in a residential area. I really wonder what kind of God. I'm worked up. You can hear. I'm really worked up. Why would someone put their prayers on a speaker, right? At 8 p.m. I'm recording this at 8 p.m. in the evening. In a residential area. You're praying through speakers. Well, if you're praying to God, I think He has big ears. He can be able to hear you. You don't need speakers to do that. Anyway, I'm going to record anyway. In the middle of this series, we're talking about why detachment is a powerful psychological tool for productivity. What is detachment? Our definition for detachment once again. It is the mental and spiritual acknowledgement that you are not fully in control of a matter or of someone, especially of someone's decisions over you. It is strengthened by the fact that you have done your part. That's what detachment is all about. Now listen, it is also about this element of being carefree, basically letting go. It doesn't mean, I'll say this until you get it, it doesn't mean you don't care. Detachment doesn't mean somebody doesn't care. No, far from it. It means you are letting go because you've only done your part and you understand that the rest is up to somebody else. It's up to another entity. Either it's up to time, it's up to a manager, it's up to a human being, it's up to process, maturity, it's up to God or the divine. So you do your part and let go. Meanwhile, in your letting go, you are continuing to do other things. You are moving on with your life. It doesn't mean you don't care about the outcome. You do care about the outcome, but you're not going to put everything to a standstill. Now listen to this. The other element of detachment is that you are okay with whatever the outcome. The outcome might favor you. The outcome might not favor you, but you are okay with it. You are better off, listen to this, you're better off with someone who is scared not to shoot their shot, thinking that if they did shoot their shot, they are going to fail. They are going to be rejected. So what do? You first of all get okay with whatever outcome it is. She might say no. She might say yes. So you're not like the man who thinks that she might say no and therefore he doesn't make an approach. Just continues imagining and crashing and so on. You're better off by detaching yourself from the outcome and acknowledging that yes, you are interested, yes, you care, yes, you want, and so you're going to make your application, going to present your credentials, going to present yourself. They might say yes, they might say no. That's up to them. But it is up to you to make the approach. The first approach is made by you. And you are going to detach yourself. This is high maturity, friends. If we did this with the relationships, remember this issue of heartbreaks and so on. You're heartbroken by someone whom you've not approached because you're seeing them dating somebody else and you have a crush over them and so on and so forth. But I'm not talking about relationships and so on. I'm talking about productivity in life. There are some things in life that we anticipate to happen. In fact, there are some things that we prepare ourselves so much for them. If you're a Toastmaster, you prepare yourself to present a speech so much so that you want to go to the international level. And what do you do after you've made your speech? You're not going to be a nervous wreck. It's high maturity. We need to train ourselves. Detachment is not something hereditary. It's not something that... It's a skill. It's a skill that we build over time. We learn to get detached over time. And we learn by accepting whatever the outcome. It doesn't mean that we are being defeatist. It doesn't mean that we are not attempting. It doesn't mean that we do not want. It doesn't mean that we don't care. We care. We want. We are desperate. Really. But we understand mentally and spiritually that it is not necessarily 100% up to us. So we let go and we are okay also with whatever outcome. In other words, you have already found it settled in your mind and in your spirit that whatever the outcome might be, even if you cannot control it, you will be fine with it, you will accept it. Detachment. That is what it is. And I perceive it is a very healthy emotional state that highly productive people espouse. They churn a project, get detached from it, and move on immediately to another project. I remember, let me just say this. I remember when we were watching football, at some point in time, there was the World Cup. Senegal was playing in the semis. No, not semis. They never reached the semis. But they were to go to the semis, I believe so. Maybe they were playing in the quarterfinals. And they would have gone to the semis. Or maybe they were playing in whatever. They were to go to the quarters. And this is what happened. It was those days that the golden rule, the golden goal used to matter a lot. Senegal did a very good showing. That particular Saturday that they were playing, it was a Saturday that I was attending a prayer session. And for some reason, we just decided, those are guys who had gathered to pray. We normally used to gather to pray for the Sunday service. We decided, let us watch Senegal play. And then we're going to pray. Ha, you guy. You know what happened? Immediately after the game, of course, Senegal lost. You could measure the barometer. You could measure the temperature. You could measure the temperature of the prayers. The density, the intensity. It was the lowest ever. Someone had to stop. One of the leaders in the prayer had to stop and encourage people. Senegal has lost, but let us pray, let us pray. Detachment, this is how it works. Immediately after those guys have lost, and someone might feel like you're being sadistic and cold-hearted. You detach yourself from that and you move on immediately to something else. It's a mental game. It's a highly It's highly effective mental game. It's a high maturity mental game, this detachment business. It saves you a lot of psychological torture. It saves you a lot of thinking of what if, what could have been, woulda, shoulda, coulda. It saves you a lot of that stuff because you switch off and you move on. I do perceive that it's a very healthy emotional state that highly productive people normally have. The first time I got to get used to detachment, I had no idea what it was. It was about, I don't know how many years ago, and I've been out of a job for over I don't know how many years. I think I've told you that story in the first episode. And in the first episode of this series, by the time I was standing before the boss, would-be boss, I didn't have rent that had been paid. I didn't have food. The landlord was not happy with me. And I was there before the boss who could give me the job. One of the things that I would have done is to behave as if my whole life, entire life, depended on that particular job, that particular assignment. But I didn't know I was so mature in my mind to practice detachment. I had faced the fears that I had been afraid of losing a job, been afraid of being hungry, been afraid of being embarrassed. I was in the middle of all that stuff, so they couldn't scare me anymore. Therefore, I was able to practice this detachment. If they give me the job, they let them give me the job. If they don't give me the job, they don't know what they're missing. I'm gonna go, but it's okay, it's fine. That's what detachment is all about. And I know I've belabored that, but I think finally it must have sunk into people's minds. So today we will close there, but then tomorrow we'll pick it up from there and see what else we can be able to learn about detachment. We're going to be talking about work tomorrow as far as detachment is concerned. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.